Welcome to the Infill Podcast, where we interview the most interesting members of the 3D printing and maker communities, live and with audience participation. And now, here is your host, Jonathan Levy.
Hello, friends. Different background, different time of day, but same great, hopefully, content today. Really excited to have today's guest, and I'm sorry that we're starting a few minutes late. We had some technical difficulties, but today I am joined by Jerry Gomes, the creator of The Print House on YouTube. He's a fellow content creator, 3D printer, engineer, and all-around maker extraordinaire. So I'm really excited to get into the episode. You can see I'm in my working around the shop clothes and hairdo. So aren't you glad you tuned in to the video version? And with that, let me welcome Jerry, who had to tune in by his phone. So we're going to make do with the quality we've got. Jerry, welcome. How are you? You're a little cut off, but otherwise, how are you?
Oh gosh, well, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, sorry about the whole technical difficulties thing. I've cameras over here, but it works in one program, but not, in the streaming program. So I have no idea what's going on with that. But I apologize. But I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Yeah, you are here, and I'm excited to get to know you better. We've chatted before, but I've never heard your story, and I'd love to hear it. I'd love to know more about it. So I didn't do your bio justice. Give me a little bit more info about who you are, how you got into 3D printing, what's your day job? Tell me all of it.
Yeah, for sure. So my bio, yeah, I'm a huge AI guy. I use ChatGPT for everything. So and I do this all the time. I go to ChatGPT and I give it my bio and I say reword this to something that sounds a little better. And whatever it outputs, I'm like, yeah, you know what, that looks pretty good. Let me reword this a little bit, reword that, and then let's go. But so as you mentioned, I'm a computer engineer. I went to school for engineering all the way since the beginning of high school. I had engineering classes, and that's kind of really defined where I kind of went. And so uh, after high school, one engineering class a year. It was fantastic, an awesome experience. Went to college for computer engineering, and it was a fantastic experience. I've had a fantastic college experience, and it, of course, led me to where I am today. And My day-to-day job, I do data analysis for a pretty specialized project. It's really, really fun. And the reason why I'm doing 3D printing almost exclusively is because I had a friend that was a roommate. He had one Ender 3, and he talked to me about it. He said it was the coolest thing ever, and I saw him use it at my house. And then I went back to work and talked about it with some people at work. And one of my good friends at work, he's like, "Yeah, you need to get a 3D printer." So here we go. So I got one 3D printer, and then I went down a rabbit hole and started a business with 3D printing. So I needed more 3D printers to keep up with demand, and of course, you know where that goes. You get one, then you get two, then you get 10. So
Yeah.
here I am.
How many do you have now, out of curiosity?
Oh gosh. Well, before I started doing YouTube and before I started, doing product reviews and then buying more printers because I wanted to, show them on the internet. I think before that I had five or six. I can't remember. It was two
Wow.
Ender 3s, two Ender 6s, the Sobol SVO2 with two extruders, so I could do two colors. So that's five. It might have been five. And then ever since YouTube started, some Kickstarters went out. I backed some projects on Kickstarter, and now I'm above 20 in a 150 square foot space, less than that. So it's pretty bad.
So you're on your phone, which is let's turn lemon into lemonades. Can you give us a tour since the
Oh gosh.
working?
Yeah, let's see. If I can figure out how to make this thing work and change the
I think
view.
just do show the screen to,
Well,
or either way.
so oh gosh, front facing to the camera two, front facing. Is that how it wants to work?
I don't know, but maybe
I don't
just
know, but maybe just
doesn't have to happen.
doesn't have to happen. Oh, the back. There we go. Well, so this room is very, very tiny, and some of my printers are actually some of them are not here. I sent a couple of them with a brother-in-law, but so there's a printer in there. That's my Snap Maker A250. This thing's fantastic. I wish I could use this thing a little bit more. Uh, then I've got some Anchor Make printers here, some Creality printers here, some more Creality printers here. A printer down there. That thing is a total shell. I disassembled that thing like crazy. A couple printers down here. My Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon, and then there's one printer that I have in the living room still in a box. I've got this printer still in a box. This is actually one of my favorite budget-friendly printers. But I mean, overall, you only see you. Do what?
The whole time we only saw.
Oh, the whole time we only saw. No way. It was a hairbrain. Wait, is it good now?
Oh my god! Wow, you are.
Oh my god! Wow, you are crazy. Okay, well I don't know. It's this software. This software is going crazy on me. So yeah, so this is a less than 150 square foot space for everything, and I can't show you what's over there because there's something a little bit secret. But I mean, this place is crazy. So there's a SnapMaker A250. I don't want to go over everything I just said, but you can tell it's cramped, right? My Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon. This is what I have to do when I go to try new printers and make content. I have to take printers off of tables because there's no room.
Wow.
Wow. And I've got some. Yeah, and then I've got some printers in the garage as well.
Wow. All right, turn us back around.
For the sake of.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Maybe now.
But.
Okay, there we
go. Do what?
Yeah, I was hearing myself for a while, but all right, that was a harebrained idea.
Oh god. Oh man.
So you got into 3D printing just as a consumer, not because of your engineering background and education. How long have you been making content?
Gosh. Okay. Yeah. So, 3D. That's exactly true. I got into 3D printing because just wanted to, and then when I got my printer, I was like, "What do I do?" And I started the 3D printing business because I wanted to. Recover the cost of filament and stuff, so I could print for fun. And so that's how I got into 3D printing. Making content. I don't even know when the first YouTube channel I made was. The first successful channel, if you will, is probably I probably started that in like 2011, maybe when I was. All of you guys probably know the name Roblox. I was one of the original users of Roblox, and I made Roblox content. I was making Roblox content before there was a million users on the website. Now there's 250 million monthly users. So, so I was making content all the way back to 2011, and there was some moderate success there, but I wasn't old enough to really make much of it.
Wow, that's wild. And you kind of wanted to create content. You wanted to stick on the kind of content path, and then 3D printing is what clicked.
Yeah, that's just I don't want to call myself a nomad. I do at the moment because that's I don't. It sounds kind of bad, but 3D printing is what is that's kind of what I've done, kind of going through my life. But 3D printing is, at least the way that I can tell it in my own life, it's one of the one things that I've had the most passion for, and I don't foresee stopping 3D printing anytime soon. It's just something that as I just enjoy everything about it, making stuff, showing people stuff. You should see my desk at work. I take all of my large, cool items to work. So
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I love just sharing the world. So with the sharing 3D printing with the world.
Can you tell us what your day job is, or is that kind of more secretive?
Yeah, no, it's not really. I mean, it's not particularly secretive. I do typically leave a lot of like work stuff and online stuff separate, but it's pretty basic. I'm an engineer. I'm a data analyst for a small project, and it's a very specialized project. So all the data that's being analyzed, I can't just go to Google and type in how do I analyze this project or whatever. So we have to work on, or So we have to develop in-house custom software. What I'm doing at work is developing in-house custom software, and then when we need to actually do testing, I use that software to, of course, analyze the data. But
Mm.
that's actually something that plays. It kind of meshes really well with YouTube, because in YouTube or on YouTube, if you don't look at your statistics and how your channel's growing, and if you don't look at each video individually, you don't really know what your viewers like and don't like.
Right.
So you don't know how to grow. So I think it actually, my day job actually pairs very well with YouTube, and it helps me continue kind of growing in that sense too.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, and then I've asked you this before, but do you ever see yourself doing 3D printing and YouTube full time, or do you feel like it's always gonna be a side hustle for you?
Yeah, I feel like I could do it full time. It's a matter of how comfortable I am with, I mean, with YouTube. Everyone that does YouTube full time has to at some point be comfortable with their monthly income. Um, at the moment, I'm actually building a new studio, or a new house, which is going to have my new studio. I'm like tripling, or roughly tripling, or maybe a little more, the space that I have for YouTube. And at the moment, my channel doesn't generate enough income to actually even pay for the current space, let alone the new space. So,
Wow,
but yeah, so we'll see where all that goes. I wouldn't mind doing it full time, but it's not something that I can see doing full time at the moment.
very cool. Well, it's super impressive to me that you managed to get content out while having a day job. Because let me tell you, I mean, granted, you don't have two kids and all that, but let me tell you, it's like I'm always blown away by guys like you or Stefan or Daniel at Modbot, because I can barely get a video out a week, and I have given up everything except for this. So it's super impressive to me when people are able to do both.
Gosh, yeah. Well, you know what? I don't have a full team. Everything you see, it's all me. Like, I don't claim everything I do is perfect. My thumbnails, they're not perfect. My editing is not perfect, but I can't just continuously go into debt, and hire a team and stuff. So it's very, very difficult. I wish I could make more content, but as you mentioned, limited on a whole bunch of factors. So, but
Right.
it's
Well,
really fun. I love it.
if people in the audience haven't seen your content, let's say that Aurora Tech Channel is all reviews and Stefan is all tests of different materials and properties and techniques. What would you say is like your niche that you've carved out for yourself? And like what
Jeez.
what's that? It's a tough question.
I was like, yeah, I said, geez, that's a really tough question. So actually, my channel, if even if I go back 6 months and look at the content I made 6 months ago versus today, it's very different. So I'm really trying to learn what my audience likes and what level of content, and a time of content to what they want. But what I enjoy doing the most is creating fun, entertaining YouTube shorts. And
Okay.
YouTube shorts, that's not something that's really big in this space right now. There are people that will pick their phone up, aim it at their 3D printers, and record their 3D printer and post it. But there's not someone in the space that does YouTube shorts specifically with high editing value or high editing content. So I like to do that,
Mhm.
but it
I would
doesn't
say
do as much for the channel in terms of sustainability. So it's not something that I can only do.
yeah. Yep. I would say JJ Shankles is the exception, and he's blown
Ah,
me
yes.
busy.
Yep,
But
you're right.
we had him on the show, and he shared his process a little bit in a previous episode, and I mean, it's fascinating because it's like the same platform, but it's so different. Like what he has to do to get a video out, it's the same in a lot of ways, but it's different. Like the economics of it are so different, and like the weekly
Yes,
are so different. So that's really
exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I actually do watch his content, so I don't know how that kind of skipped my mind. But yeah, it's totally different because the editing process and the production process as a whole is completely different. Because of course I try to do I try to make one long format video every other week
hmm
if I can manage it. And then at the moment, my shorts content is low for other reasons. But when I did some testing, and I did one short a day for 30 days. And when I did that, and I'm not like, the high editing content kind of video. And when I did that, I saw significant growth, very, very rapid growth in the channel. And shorts viewers and long format viewers are different. So if you want to do both, you have to do both. You can't just do one and expect you can't
Right.
just expect them to watch both sets of videos. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been told that, and I've been told shorts viewers are not going to watch your long form content. And it's hard, shorts are monetized, but barely. So you really got to find
barely,
sponsorships and opportunities. And sponsors are not yet willing to fork over cash for a 60-second video, which, you got
or
to,
or less.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm I've got some videos. I've got some short videos that are over the million view mark. So one of them is at maybe 8 or 9 million views, and unfortunately, that video really took off after shorts were monetized, or sorry, before shorts were monetized. But
Uh,
after they were monetized, it still generated maybe like a million or 2 million views, and the revenue from that video is very small. I mean, it's less
yeah,
than $100, and
for a million.
that's yeah, that is for a million or maybe 2 million views or something like that. So I can't like at a channel my size, if I have one video, if my videos average between 10 and 30,000 views, we're talking literally pennies.
Yeah. Super,
So
super hard to make that work.
exactly, which is why I mean, and I do enjoy long format videos, and I'm sure you can get the same satisfaction out of this. It's like you start from a blank slate, and then when your long format video is done, you've got a 10, 15, 20 minute video, which is a full production, and it's satisfying to see how you went from nothing to something completely like custom, obviously, and that's you. So I like long format stuff for that reason as well.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So tell me, let's talk 3D printers. People have told me that the stream is buffering like crazy, so I think we're gonna make it a shorter one because basically there's no one watching live anymore, so we're going for the recording. You've built 3D printers, you've modified 3D printers. What's the one that you go to when you just need something to print? And then separate question, which one do you love the most?
Oh gosh. Okay. So let's see. So when you have so many printers, I know you probably feel the same as well. So for my business, the way my business operates is I have custom designed parts, and what I typically do is I print a large stockpile. This way, when I get orders, I just go to the order or the stock shelf and just pull an item off. I don't have to print on demand. Um, so when I do that, typically the first printers that I turn on are my Anchor Make M5 printers. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of them. They're very, very hands off. It's not as hands off as the bamboo printers,
Yeah.
but in my personal experience, they just work. They just work, and they're Wi-Fi enabled from the factory. So I just load up the slicer, send everything over. I don't have to deal with walking through this tight maze of a room, and like I said, it just works. And so I've got two of those. They print relatively quickly, so I turn those ones on first, and then after that, depending on how much volume I need, I turn other stuff on. What do I like the most? I would also say the bamboo, or not the bamboo, the Anchor Make M5s. But ever since I got Max One Carbon, that thing, it's very cliche, but that thing is just, I mean, it is just that good.
Yeah.
The print quality is fantastic. Having four colors available, it takes the level. It takes a print from here all the way up to here, having different colors, and it just works.
Yeah.
So it's
I
it's
don't
very
even
fun.
print with colors that much, like multiple colors, but just not having to like load and unload filament is such a
That
big
too.
deal. When also
That
like my printers are spread out across three different places, like my house, the studio, and then two different rooms within the studio, and then at my in-laws. So it's like just being able to like know, okay, I have these four colors in the printer, and if I go home and I decide I want to print, the finishing pieces for this wall, like okay, I have matte black loaded. I go home, put my kids to bed, shower them, all that stuff. and then I can just print whatever I want overnight. It's like such a game changer.
Yeah.
Whereas with every other printer, it's like, shit, I left orange in the machine. I think I don't even know what I put in the machine, and it doesn't say
Yep.
Bamboo does, which is, it's huge.
Yeah, and that's something that I think people talk about it, but I don't think people talk about it as much as multicolor. But it almost is just as valuable because I do the same thing. Like typically, I mean, right now it's a little bit of I'm looking at it's a little bit of a different story. But typically, I've got four or sorry two colors and then white and black loaded because white and black are just default. Let's print something. Let's use white or black. And sitting from my desk without having to get up, I can just as you said, change the color and then click the print button and it works. I don't have to get up from my desk to check that with the camera as well. Check that first layer is good. I don't have to get up to go check that it's
Yeah.
the right color, load filament. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
it's a breeze.
Yep.
So
Yep. I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. So is that your favorite printer then?
at the moment, probably yes. It's hard for me to want to have a favorite printer because over the last few months I've had so much cycle in so if I get hung up on a printer, then I may be not doing something else justice. So
Yeah.
like previously, I mean, really the really best way to categorize stuff is favorite printer in X category for X reason or this or that. And so like previously I might have actually said the Wizmaker P1 is my favorite budget friendly printer, and that's something almost no one ever talks about. A lot of people probably don't even know the name
Yeah.
Wizmaker.
I've
It
heard.
was a Yeah, so they were a Kickstarter printer, and I don't know why I backed them, but the printer really just looked cool and it had strain gauge auto bed leveling for like $250 and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try that. And it just works. Like I have to use an SD card, but the screen firmware is beautiful. It's not this hacked together one man job. It
Yeah.
just works. But recently, I got a new printer in the studio. It's the Mingda Magician X2, and that's another budget. Like so, if I'm talking budget friendly printers, that's even cheaper than the Wizmaker, and it does everything just as good. Strain gauge auto bed leveling. Z off it doesn't auto calibrate your Z offset, but other than that, it just works. So like it's so hard to like define what a favorite printer is without really specifying category. But yeah.
And what kind of stuff are you mostly printing? Like, is it a lot of functional parts, a lot of decorative stuff? You said you have a business, so you're selling prints as well, right?
Yeah, oh gosh, I could talk about that for hours. So that's one reason why I started doing YouTube is because I don't just pull my printer out to print thing on printables. I don't find it entertaining to find this new sculpture on printables or the number one winning award for the current printables contests. I don't typically enjoy just printing things. So I for the business you're gonna laugh, and everyone that watches this is gonna laugh. But I have an automatic cat litter box, and it's fully automatic. It scoops the litter, it pumps the litter into the toilet. I don't do anything,
Yeah.
but it has movable parts, and they fail often. And when they fail, people need replacements, and the company is the worst. They won't sell you half the stuff that you need to actually make it functional to break. So I designed custom parts that were upgrades, modifications, or replacements. And I started printing them and selling them. And I don't do a lot of income with it, but I do somewhere between probably $8,000 and $12,000 a year
Wow.
in just selling that stuff on eBay. No external advertising.
That's
It's just
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. And it
And
reminds me, by the way, that I have to thank today's sponsor, which is PCBWay. So let me not forget to do that because I usually PCBWay is your one-stop shop, guys, for really anything that you need fabbed, whether that is PCB production, obviously, but they'll also do industrial 3D printing, CNC machining, sheet metal fab, injection molding, or really anything that you need. They can do one piece for you, or they can do 1,000 pieces, or even more. So make sure you check them out. Use the link in the description. You get a $5 welcome bonus. everyone I've referred to them has been blown away by their quality and service. So make sure that you check out PCB Way. All right, sorry about that. Had to pay the bills.
Oh, hey, makes sense. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, yeah,
So I have worked with PCBWay before as well, and this was totally unplanned, by the way. So
yeah,
I've worked with them before, and I've received some metal 3D prints from them, which is I don't know. Have you received metal 3D prints from them? Have you tried that
no,
service of theirs?
haven't had a use
It
for it. I really want to.
I haven't had it, so I don't really have a use for it. I just thought it was cool, so like let me try this. It is incredible, like actually incredible. The quality of some and like a custom designed part that can't be machined that you
Yeah,
can get in metal. Like it blows my mind.
totally wild. It's totally wild, and like the fact that they'll do it for you piecemeal blows my mind too. Like, how is it
Exactly,
time to like slice it and do all, like,
exactly. And um, I recently went to Rapid TCT 2023. Are you familiar with it?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so I was at Rapid this year, and the Mark Forge Metal X was there, or Mark Forge was there, and they had their Metal X
yeah,
printer, and so that was one of the things that I made some small short content on. That one actually blew up, and I mean, to be able, this machine is $150,000. It's not cheap. It's not something that you're just going to put in your house at home and print out of metal, but the ability to take something from your computer and print it in metal, I mean, it still blows my mind.
totally.
You're, it's it's not the same as getting like something in a like milled out of a block of aluminum. You're not
Yeah,
going to make a wrench that holds up to the same quality, but I don't know. It's crazy. It's totally
completely,
crazy.
completely wild to me, and like the fact that we've gotten there is completely wild to me as well. Um,
Yeah.
let's see, what else have I not asked you? So you're mostly printing just for your business functional parts. What's the last thing you printed? It's probably one of those, hey?
Actually, no. Honestly, one of the last things I probably printed is this guy right here. I this is I guess this is a girl actually. Are you familiar with you have to be Flexi Factory, Dan from Flexi Factory?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, so I tried to expand my 3D printing business, and I tried to print flexibles and sell them on Etsy. And in my personal experience, time-wise and amount of revenue that it was generating wasn't enough, so I kind of shut that down after about 2 months. But these things are awesome, and it's not just Dan. Any artist that does this stuff
yeah.
and does it well, it's fantastic. So these are one of the only things that I actually print for fun. And whenever I get an email from Dan that he posted something new on Patreon, I I pretty much always open that email and look it up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I keep it in the back of my head. I'm like, when is the next time I can print this? And yeah, I don't know when's the next time I can print this because I don't know, they're just awesome. They're awesome to play with.
Yeah, and I'm also always looking for things like, you get a filament sponsor and you're like, okay, now I need to print a bunch of stuff to show off this cool filament. And you're like, well, I mean, I don't need anything. I have 15 printers running it all. There's like nothing that I need.
What do I print?
So I need to print some
What?
cool stuff. I recently printed this little guy, which is supposed to be half the size of that. It's
Yeah.
Spot Robot Dog, but I doubled him up, which you shouldn't do, and they say you shouldn't do because he can't support the weight of himself anymore.
Oh gosh.
But he's cool and he like bounces and stuff. He falls over now, but he's really cool. I think I'm gonna print a little one just to keep on my desk.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Like
Actually, that's
the
something.
momentum.
That is one thing I typically do. Whenever I put something in the slicer, I always upsize it, and I don't even go 200%. I typically like click it, and I click that little dot, and I expand it till I'm like, oh, you know what, that looks about right. And it's like
Yeah,
I take things that are this big, and I make them this big. I think that's one thing that's actually pretty fun, seeing small things big and big things small. So
yeah. What's your biggest printer right now, build volume wise?
right now, oh gosh, actually, I think right now is probably going to be my Ender 6. I don't have a large format printer. I don't have the space for one.
Yeah,
So I've had the opportunity to get some, but there's nothing I could really do with it right now. I don't know where I'd even put it. But the Ender 6, and I don't even. There's no like I can't use that much build volume. It's just not possible.
Gotta get more
And
creative, man. Uh,
well,
I'm looking at a
I mean,
500 cubed printer on the other side of this room.
I know.
I'm
Actually, I
like,
think I was like,
babe, do
that's
you want a
insane.
coffee table? Because I think I'm gonna print a new one. Why
It's
not?
like, can I print a stool and use this as like my new chair at the desk, or like what?
Yeah, 500 is big. It's not big enough to like print a full size chair, but I'm
You could print a chair in pieces and then assemble it.
totally. I think I'm gonna actually print the coffee table for the other set that I'm building out. Now that this
Oh,
one's
really? That's super cool.
why not?
There's something to say for big prints, but one thing that a lot of people don't experience, and I'm actually one of those people. Like I've never put a nozzle on a printer greater than 0.8 millimeters
Really?
because typically it's like, what are you gonna do with this? But you could get those nozzles that go up to like one and a half,
Yeah.
1.8, 2 millimeter nozzles, and like just crank out something in a 500 millimeter print volume.
Yeah. I ordered a bunch of 1.2s and 1.5s, and I just gotta get around to it. I also like it's
Yeah.
5 kilos of filament or something, and I don't have the time to design the table, so I might just generate tree supports on a slab, and then like save it as
Oh,
well and export it. Like let the slicer do the design for me.
that's
Uh,
not a bad idea.
yeah, and then the other thing is I have 1 kilo, 1 kilo, sometimes 2, 3 kilos of the same thing, but I don't want the table to be like 5 different colors of filament. So I'm thinking,
Oh yeah, what you need is to get one of those massive like 5 kilogram spools
yeah,
and hook that up to it.
crank it out.
This way you don't have to worry about it running out, and you just print the whole thing in one color. So
You ever notice how the biggest printers never have a filament sensor? It's like,
I didn't see because I don't typically go out and watch lots of reviews because I'm always like working on my own stuff. I don't see a lot of specs on the big
this
printers, but you would
500,
think they would like.
you would think it would have a filament sensor because it's gonna take over a week to fill the build volume.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah, these large printers, like you're telling me no filament sensor. I mean, in my head, I'm like, what logic did you go through to design the machine? Because oh, my Alexa's talking to me. What design did you go through? Because like one of those sensors costs like pennies, especially when you buy them in bulk.
yeah,
And most of these companies, they already have them in stock because they're building other machines that have sensors.
yeah,
So like,
yeah. I don't get it, but whatever. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this thing. I need to figure out where the hell to put it because it's not gonna fit on any shelf, obviously.
I was about to say that's one of the things with those because a lot of standard tables, the depth of the table's like 24 inches.
Yeah. So
So you got to have not a you can't have like like an office desk. You got to have like a kitchen table or something like really big to house one of those.
it's gonna end up going on the floor under the shelves, and then I'm gonna raise the shelves above it, kind of like a
Yeah,
H.
see that's what. But to me, having a large printer like that, don't get me wrong, I'd love to have one and play around with it and try it, but there are some things in my studio right now that I love and I want to keep, but I don't know how I can keep it long term because I have to make a fully customized space for it.
Yep.
And I don't know if I can or want to have that thing sitting there not doing anything for the end because I can't move it. There's
Yeah,
no
I
other
gave
place
up.
for it.
I gave up the Niji Max 4 for that exact reason. I just gave it to a local artist temporarily, but probably permanently. And he's having
Yeah,
he's like, "What do
like
you?"
my Snapmaker A250.
Yeah,
It's the 250 millimeter version, but because it's a CNC and a laser built in, you can't really do either of those things in house, either safely or cleanly, without having an enclosure for it. So I have that thing in an enclosure inside. I was showing you earlier, but with the enclosure, it makes the height an extra like I mean, I don't know, probably an extra 50 to 100 millimeters taller, wider, and longer in every dimension, and it's just huge.
yeah. And imagine how the artisan is. They
Ex-
told me, they were sending out review units for the artisan. And I was like, who's like Joel accepted one because he has a
Yep.
huge table there, but everyone else was just like, well, I don't have room
Well,
for that.
maybe So if I'm remembering correctly, didn't he have that on a different table because even his main recording table is too small.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is wild.
That's
Thing is
that's
as big as that, but without an enclosure. But it's a big.
exactly. And these big machines like that, I mean, people that buy them, these are like there's a real use case for them. Like people that do the cosplay stuff like that. There's
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
they
really
have a
great
use, but
machines. And like, there's a company here, 20 minutes away, called Modix that makes like 2 meter by 2 meter by 2 meter Core XY machines.
yeah.
PM.
I actually think I've heard of them. I didn't realize they were near you.
Yeah,
But
20 minutes away.
there's you need to have dedicated spaces for some stuff. Like you
Yeah,
can't just buy like an Ender 3 or Prusa or whatever. You can buy it, stick it on your desk. A week later, move it to your nightstand, fit it anywhere.
right,
So some of these really niche products are like you really got to think about what you're going to use it for, where you're going to put it, and how
right.
long you're going to want it. Because if you got a 500 millimeter cube printer, if you're not going to want it for, you know, a long time to come, what are you going to do with it, kind of thing. So,
Totally. Totally. Well, Jerry, people are complaining nonstop. The two people that are watching that our stream is falling apart. So I do want to get this published so people can watch the replay before their day starts.
oh yeah, yeah.
I want to ask you, you have this new studio coming. What can we expect more of from the print house, and what's going to change as you build this new space?
Yeah, well, so for one, sorry, of course this is your stream, but it's like for all
It's
the viewers
my
that can't
internet.
watch, that's awful.
I'm
Do
in
what?
I'm in an underground space, and the internet sucks here, so that's my bad.
Yeah, so what's coming to the print house? Well, the new studio won't be around until maybe November, December timeframe, hopefully around then. So it's a while. It's still an empty field, but uh, so for right now, I am looking at trying to expand the team in the near future to get maybe an editor. Hopefully, if I can get an editor, I'll be able to start pumping out some more content, long form content. And the good thing with that is what I really really do enjoy the most on YouTube is actually making YouTube shorts. I
Yep.
enjoy both. I enjoy both long and short format content, but I enjoy making short format content. So if I can do the script writing, recording of long format content, and have someone edit that, then
Yep.
I'll be able to get more of that out to my viewers because I know a lot of them want that,
Totally.
and that allows me the time to focus on short format content. So if I can get that in play and if I can find the funding for that, then there's going to be hopefully fingers crossed like 2 or 3 times the amount of content, both long and short, being pumped out onto my channel.
Yep. Yep.
Going to be more reviews, more projects. I love long format content project videos. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get more into that. So
Awesome. Well, hit me up because my assistant Leslie has a side hustle where she helps hire in the Philippines, which is where all my wonderful staff is because I just love
of
working.
course, of course.
I could write a book, and I've considered it, about how much I love working with Filipinos and just what
Oh,
I've been there like 3 times. I've taken my
oh man,
treats there. Like, I basically only hire Filipinos. Uh,
yeah.
might sound racist, but I think it's more just I like really get along with the work culture and the family culture there, and I just
I don't think that's racist. It's like it's just an observation.
yeah.
There's nothing bad there.
Well, here, hmm, yeah, I don't know. It sounds weird to say I only hire Filipinos, but I really literally only hire Filipinos, and then my
If
book.
if you've had good work, if you've had good luck working with them,
Yeah,
I wouldn't change it up.
yeah, something I'm doing is working, right? Um,
Yeah.
where can we find you? You mentioned you sell stuff on eBay, but where should we send people? Just to the print house, or
Yes, so with the whole like day job thing, it's so hard to manage all the socials. It
yeah,
sounds like it shouldn't be hard, but it is. So the only social that I actually keep up with besides YouTube is Instagram. So my Instagram, it's the Print House YT. I don't post a lot of content there, but definitely YouTube, the Print House. And I try to get stuff up on a weekly basis.
beautiful.
Every week is different. What's going on in real life versus what I'm working on in the studio. But the print house on YouTube, there will be content
Great.
every week. standardly. So
That is awesome, and I want to thank you for coming on the show. Sorry about the technical issues that my software gave you, and then sorry about my internet sucking for watching the
no,
video.
hey, don't worry about it. I
So people,
appreciate the invite. This has been fun, and at some point, hopefully, we can get to do it again. Maybe get the camera working better, and
yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
internet and whatnot. So
That would be a lot of fun. Let's do it again soon. All right.
yes, awesome. Well, again, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and yeah,
My pleasure, man. Take care.
all right, yeah, you as well. See you later.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infill Podcast. For show notes or links to anything mentioned in today's episode, visit thenextlayer.com. If you enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to leave us a review wherever you're listening, or click the like button to let us know. And consider subscribing to The Next Layer on YouTube so you can tune in live and participate in the next conversation. We'll see you on the next layer.